I didn't even bother.
I was like, I'm too far.
Justin, can you pull the door a little bit? To keep it. Thank you. That's good. It's not too much so we can hear.
All righty, I think most people are here that are going to be here, so let's go ahead and get started. Fire away with
Coach.
Yeah.
Obviously a big win here tonight at home against West Virginia. What are your initial thoughts after this thrilling contest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad we came out on top. It was an unbelievable game. Both teams deserve immense credit for putting so much into that game. They're an excellent team. I think Nikki's done a fantastic job with that group of kids. They're a lot better than last year for sure, and I think they're going to win a lot of games. So it was a great game. I was really proud of my team. We had a little adversity with a couple injuries and had players step up. So yeah, I mean, I was just happy to be part of that game. Obviously, winning it is an amazing feeling in the manner that we did. But I would wake up tomorrow really proud of my team, even if we had lost it, because it was such a good game.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, how are you today? I'm guessing pretty well, right?
That's an easy one to answer.
I heard all the shouting and stuff in the background, and brings a smile to my face for sure. But I want to know, what were you thinking when Olyvia got the ball in the box at the very end of the game there? When she started turning around, what were you thinking?
Well, at the moment, I was thinking shoot, 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 but clearly I don't know what I'm talking about because she had it under control and she was the most composed player in the stadium or person in the stadium because the fans were yelling shoot, we were yelling shoot, and yeah, she just said she didn't hear anybody, but clearly she was very, very composed. You know, she is a kid that doesn't get flustered, doesn't get rattled, and you know, she picked her moment and scored. So my immediate thought was, oh, she's overplayed it, and once again, it shows what we know. She had it under control the whole time, and you know, looking back on it, I'm just glad it was her and not me because I would have probably shot it over the bar and panicked, but she was just so composed in the moment and did a great job.
Now, in the past, you've told me that Olyvia can do things with the soccer ball that nobody else on the team can do. Are you at all surprised she managed to get a shot off, or are you kind of like, yeah, like that's Olyvia?
No, honestly, yeah, that's Olyvia. There's many times I'm thinking to myself, she needs to release the ball, and then she wriggles through three people and shoots. So it happens in training every day. Ask our defenders that have to deal with her. So not surprised at all. And we just have, you know, come to expect that in her short time here, that's the kind of play she can make. And I'm really proud of her. You know, we challenged Liv after last season. We told her, you're a great player. You're going to develop into a fantastic player. And the next part of your game is to, you know, be that bigger impact by scoring more vital goals and creating more chances. And, you know, she's really added that to her game this year. So I'm really proud of her.
And, you know, in my opinion, this goal did more than change the dynamic of this game. It really changed the dynamic of your season. What did that goal with 28 seconds to go mean for your team going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives us a bunch of confidence. It's probably too early to call it a defining moment yet, but we may look back on it and say it is, you know. Our goal is to play 9 games this fall in the Big 12 and win them all. That's clearly our goal, and we know how difficult that is. And this is one that we got we knew when the schedule came out, this is one of the big ones. And I think West Virginia are going to beat a lot of teams this fall. So, yeah, it could be a pivotal moment. But what it definitely does is it gives our kids a lot of belief, lets them know we're doing the right things, and shows that they're a very resilient bunch. I mean, there's no quit in this group. They play hard all the time, and they train hard all the time. And I think they got rewarded for that tonight.
And my last question for you is, how excited are you to go back and watch that one on film? Like, is that one you're going to rewind a couple times?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at some point tonight when I get home, I'll be checking Twitter and stuff, and I'll be reminiscing about that goal. And you know, it's a great moment. I mean, that's one that, you know, I'm sure Liv will remember, but I know her teammates will as well. I mean, it's not often you get a game winner with like 30 seconds left. That doesn't happen every week. So you got to really enjoy that moment when it happens, I think.
Thanks, Coach.
Of course.
Am I good to go, Jacob? Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Coach. Ben and I are in the same room, so we figured we'd use one computer. So this is Sam now. I just wanted to ask you. Obviously we kind of hit on the bigger moments, but I wanted to kind of hone in on some moments of interest that I found kind of stuck out to me from this really amazing match. First off, what was your kind of on-field vantage point to the West Virginia goal when they had that rocket and Plotz deflected it, but it landed back in the net? You were kind of like adamant on the sideline, and there just seemed to be a pretty big uproar. And what was your reaction to that goal?
Well, it's hard. We're so far away. I'll see video and it might change my mind. But it looked like, to me, the first call that ended up being the free kick in the first place, I'm not sure it was. And everybody looked really surprised. So I was really just trying to get an explanation of what the call was. I really, we were baffled. And even West Virginia's team looked surprised. So I was just trying to get an explanation. The goal itself, the kid had a great free kick. Emily got a piece of it onto the bar. It looped up really unluckily for Emily. That's a tough ball to deal with under pressure. And, we'll watch video. I felt maybe she got impeded, but maybe she didn't. And maybe, the pressure was enough to send it in. I hate to say too much because it's hard to say until we see the video, but their kid had the one thing I do know, their kid had a really nice free kick and it was a tough play. Certainly.
And another thing that kind of jumped up to me from back up here in the press box was I thought the play of like Allie Jackson was really well. It seemed like, Keona did it a couple times too, but I thought definitely Allie Jackson. It seemed like she would get the ball and just take it way up into West Virginia territory. Obviously starting here as like the center defender, that shows some like confidence. And what do you think of her ability to just possess the ball and change field position like that?
Yeah, I thought all three of our backs were tremendous. They all played 90 minutes, I believe, with the injuries. It made it harder for us to rotate players in certain areas, and that was one of the areas we couldn't really get any relief. So I thought Ali, Key, and Kim all played very well. Kim's starting to get close to 100%, I think, after her injury. She's not quite there, but she looked a lot sharper tonight than she did last week. For a freshman, I think Key is playing tremendously well. Early in preseason, Key was kind of struggling to adapt, but I think since the games have started, she's been unreal. And then Ali, maybe our most improved player. We got a lot of good players that are really coming along, but Ali Jackson's development from freshman year to now has been fantastic. She's a real leader for us now and a rock back there. And you're right, her composure to carry out of the back is terrific.
Awesome. And two more questions for you. First off, I was just wondering, that goal by Gabriella to put y'all up 1-0, did that not seem almost like a carbon copy of the Iowa State goal she had?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, she was on an angle similar. She had a little bit more work to do on this one because I think she was a little further out wide, and I think she hit it left-footed. Gigi, had that left-footed? Yeah, it was a left-footed, so it was a little bit different. But you're right, it was kind of a ball in behind, and G's got terrific pace, of course. And I think this finish was tougher. I think you can ask G, but to me it looked a lot tougher than the one she put in against Iowa State. But that's what G does, I mean, she works her butt off. She runs the channels, and every 2 or 3 times a game she gets in behind, and her composure to finish has been great. I mean, that's 7 of the last 8 games going back to last year she scored in or something. That's a pretty amazing stat considering those games were either Big 12 games or NCAA tournament games. That's pretty awesome.
Certainly. And my last question for you was just kind of hitting on the somber note, the injuries that were kind of rampant really everywhere, but I specifically hit you guys. Do you think that was a factor of just playing hard or what?
Yeah, I think so, because they were all different. Cammie's had a sore ankle for about a week now. She's kind of trained and played through it, so I think she got clipped. I'm assuming it's the same ankle. So she had to come off. It's all swollen. Peyton, unfortunately, we think it might be her knee, but obviously we'll wait and see what they say. But, the way she went down just didn't bode well. So, I mean, those two. And then we lost Alex in training, so she didn't play this week. So, yeah, we're a little bit bare bones. And the good news is we're getting some of our freshmen back this week, I think, who have been caught up in the COVID protocol. So we should add, hopefully, 3 or 4 players for next weekend's match against Baylor. So that would definitely help for sure, because we're a little thin right now.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. So one of the things that I noticed from the press box was the emphasis of going toward the wings a lot and running down a majority of your play down that wing. Was that something that you guys noticed from film and practice and kind of incorporated into this match?
Yeah, it's a combination of two things. The shape that we play in really allows our wingbacks to get forward a lot, and that's a big part of what we do. And we spent some time in training this week trying to be better in those areas, and I thought at times we were. And yes, West Virginia, they do get very compact defensively, and their two center backs are amazing athletes. So we felt like that was an area we could hurt them, and I thought we did at times. Especially when we were able to switch it out to the opposite flank. I thought that's where we caused them some trouble. So it wasn't perfect, but I think in some key moments we were able to cause them some trouble out there. And it's definitely something we saw on video and definitely something we work on anyway, because it's a big part of what we try to do.
One of the things I noticed with that was the assist on Gabriella's goal from Hannah and how that ball kind of curled toward the goal a little bit. Has that been an emphasis to just do a lot more of the longer passes to get people behind?
Not really. It is part of the game because we are very dynamic up front. All of our attacking kids have pace, so we always, our kids know that, and sometimes we get too comfortable just playing in behind because we know we're fast. And so we've actually talked to our team about mixing it up a little bit more. But that play in itself, that's kind of our bread and butter with the pace we have up top. I don't ever want our players to think they can't play G into those spaces because she's very good at it. So it's something we'll continue to do, but we do want to be a little bit less predictable at times because I think teams can take that part of the game away from us if they scout us, and maybe we'll have to find some other ways to break through. But I certainly want us to keep trying to hit that ball because it is clearly it's something that we're pretty good at.
And then last thing about just how the team played in this match specifically. How can this match be looked at in comparison to a lot of the other games that you've coached here at OSU?
Well, it's a great win. We've only ever beaten West Virginia twice now, last year and this year. So, I think it says a lot for this group. West Virginia made the Sweet 16 last year, so they returned most of their same kids. So that's a big win, against a very, very good team. And I think with all the adversity that all the teams have faced, all from the spring into the summer, games like that make everything we're doing worthwhile to me. All the medical staff and all the people, the administrators behind the scenes that are allowing our kids to do that. It's for those moments right there. I mean, that's priceless. And, I get caught up in it just like everybody else. I'm emotional, and this is what I love. I love the game and I'm passionate about it. So, and it would be 10 times greater for the kids that are on the field because their adrenaline's going. So, well, I'm just thankful that we're getting to do this, and I love this team. They're a great bunch of young women, on and off the field, by the way. It's just I'm so glad we get to do this year because there's a lot of schools that aren't getting to experience this, and tonight was kind of a accumulation of all the hard work that's gone on behind the scenes.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
All good with Coach? Ready for players?
Yeah, talk to the heroes. They're the ones who got it done.
All righty.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, of course.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Go ahead whenever you guys are ready.
Hey, Olyvia, how are you doing? I'd imagine you're doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, pretty good.
Have you ever hit a game-winning goal with 29 seconds left in your career before?
In high school, I did it with like 12 seconds, but
Oh, so this was easy for you, right?
that's like the only other time. But I mean, I wouldn't say easy, but definitely, it's happened one other time. But yeah, I just kind of black out in those moments.
Well, how did this game-winning goal, I guess, compare to that one in high school?
They're both big time goals. The one in high school got us, it made history at the school that I was at my senior year. They'd never made it past round 2, and that was round 2. So that was a big one. And then obviously we haven't beat West Virginia, but one other time, as Colin was saying. So, and just a win's a win at the end of the day, no matter who you're playing.
So can you kind of walk me through that goal? I mean, you received the ball and then kind of turned around and maybe turned around again. What did it look like from your perspective?
Well, obviously, kudos to Hannah playing the ball and G for getting there because we all thought it was going to go out of bounds. But G used her speed, got there, was composed, played a great ball in behind, and I was kind of cherry picking and happened to be there. And my first touch wasn't great. I felt like I didn't want to force a shot. And then I saw May for a second, and I was like, I don't know. And then I just turned around and just did a couple of just try to gain just like 2 yards of space and then just try to get a shot off and hope it goes in. So.
And coach, he already told me, I think you overheard, was that everyone on the sideline, all the fans, all your coaches, everyone was yelling at you, shoot, right? But you said you were able to block that all out?
I didn't hear, honestly, a single thing. I'm not even kidding. I didn't hear anybody saying shoot at all. I was just playing.
And that goal was plenty rewarding, like gives your team, a huge victory. But was it even just a little smidgen more rewarding? Because, you had a few chances later in the match to score. Was this just like the best possible thing you could ask for?
I mean, obviously, a goal's a goal, a win's a win. So whenever you get a shot off, you always hope it goes in. So this just happened to be a bigger one. So.
Gotcha. Thanks, Olyvia. Congrats. Yeah, we're in the same room, so we're just gonna use one computer.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Ben kind of went over the heroics, as your coach put them, but I'm gonna ask you kind of about some specific moments earlier in the match that kind of jumped out to me. The first one, I did not take notes. Were you on the wall when West Virginia did manage to break through? I meant to jot down who was on the wall, but I didn't. So were you on the wall?
Yes, I was.
You were. So I was wondering, like, when that ball whizzed over your head, did you think it was in? Like, what was your kind of vantage point on that goal?
Honestly, I didn't. Like, I thought she hit it over, but it kind of dipped at the end and hit the crossbar and spun all weird. So I initially didn't think it was going in. I thought she had hit it over just because it kept rising, but then it dipped like at the very last second. So it was a great shot at the end of the day.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was kind of thinking one thing that I thought was well done was by Allie Jackson. The fact that, she's like playing so far back, but she when she got the ball, it felt like every time she was probably dribbling it, 40 yards and taking it far into West Virginia territory. How much does that help out players like you, the forwards, when players on the back line can support you so well and bring the ball up?
Allie Jackson is a very technical player. She played midfield all through club and in high school and stuff. So she's very composed on the ball always. So when she does stuff like that, I'm just trying to make runs to support her. But at the same time, if she's running past me, you kind of just hold so that if she does end up losing it, you're back there. But it's good to have other players on the team that can do stuff like that. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Olyvia.
Hey, Olivia. Was this game kind of circled on your guys' calendar prior to this week?
We just kind of take it game at a time, one game at a time. It's not really like, ooh, this team we need to be, this team we need to be. We just, like I said, we just take it game at a time. Whenever we played Kansas State, we were just focusing on Kansas State. Iowa State, we just focused on Iowa State. Now we're just looking forward to Baylor. So it wasn't really circled. Obviously, they're a great team. They are higher up in the rankings than us. So obviously, it's one of those games where it's like a very even match and you don't know who's going to go in and win, but it's not really one of those things where you circle opponents. You just take it game by game.
And then with so few rankings ahead of you guys, to have that kind of win against a team that's in that same category, how important do you think that is for this season, and what can we see, what can we expect for building onto it?
It's big time. It's a big thing. We should continue to go forth with confidence and keep improving on our game. I think we have a lot to improve on. This is just such a different year. We didn't have any preseason. We have a lot of freshmen coming in and they didn't get any experience prior like I had last year. Normally at this time you've played about 13 games. So it's a big deal, and it hopefully gives us a boost of confidence going into next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Next up. Thanks, Olivia.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was hard.
I think I'm getting old at 21. Oh, I'm feeling it.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Hannah.
Alrighty, y'all can go ahead when you're ready.
So I'm going to just start off right away and ask, how did it feel to kind of be somebody that was putting other people in the positions they needed to be to score a lot?
It definitely felt good because I saw G making a great run, and I was like, okay, my job is now to get the ball through to her. She's making a great run. I need to do my part, and credit to G. She had a great first touch and a great finish. And, she's very clinical in those situations. So, it's a good feeling because we went up 1-0, and, those are the kind of moments that you live for as a player.
And then one of the other things that I kind of noticed was that in the first half, it almost felt like your offense was going through Charmaine on the other side a lot. And then in the second half, it kind of switched back to your side, and you really took advantage of that opportunity. Talk about that.
So yeah, our formation relies a lot on using the wing backs. So sometimes we get out on Charmaine's side, sometimes we get out on my side. It's just kind of whatever's open in the run of play. So whoever's got good vision and can switch the ball, we really can punish teams with this formation because, they're not really used to seeing a setup like this.
And then was this a kind of game that you guys kind of had circled on your calendar whenever you saw the first rankings come out?
Honestly, I didn't even see the rankings. I don't really pay attention to that stuff, to be honest. And like Liv said, we take these games game by game. I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking ahead 3 games. We focus on the game that day, and then once it's over, then we look to the next game. So I really would just kind of show up and show out for the moment, not really worrying or stressing about who we're playing. We just focus on us.
Thank you.
Hi, Hannah.
Hey.
So I have a stat for you. I did the math, and 99.61% of this game had been played before Olyvia Dowell managed to unknot the game and go up 2-1. So I've never met a soccer player or any athlete that at this level that likes ties. So what was your reaction when this game, which looked bound to be tied? What was your reaction when you guys managed to grab the win at the last second?
Oh my God, just relief. Our girls had worked so hard and we put ourselves in such a great position, and credit to G for the great ball and credit to Liv for the great finish. I mean, that was just a culmination of all the efforts that we had given during this game, and it was just such a great moment, and definitely one that that we'll remember for a while. West Virginia is a really great team. We have to give credit to them. They've got really technical players, and so to take them all the way to double overtime and then finish with 28 seconds left, I mean, that was a pretty awesome feeling.
No doubt. And I did not manage to jot it down, but when West Virginia scored, were you on the wall or no?
No, I was actually marking a player outside.
Okay, so what was your reaction to kind of seeing that whole craziness that went down on? For me, it's that side of the field over there. Like, I was pretty far away, so I couldn't really tell. Did you think that ball was gonna land back in the field of play and eventually in the net, or what was your vantage point?
Honestly, I didn't even know. It all happened so fast. I kind of thought it had gone over the crossbar and had gone out, but then I don't know. I mean, it looked like it came back in. It was a very, very quick, very confusing, couple of seconds there, and I'll give the credit to number 21. That was a great free kick, and that maybe that was something that we can work on in the future.
Yeah. And my last question I'll hit you with is about Olyvia Dowell and the game winner. You've practiced with her every day. You've seen her in practice. So from, amazing plays that a lot of people might think are impossible, for Olyvia that you've seen that she can possibly do. What do you think of that turnaround goal? Did you think it had a chance? What were your thoughts when she had it to her back and how she was able to turn it and fire it so quickly?
I mean, Liv's a great player, very technical, very composed. And she's got a fantastic shot and a fantastic dribble. So when the ball came to her, honestly, I wasn't worried at all. She didn't like her first option, so she spun and ended up finishing and winning the game for us. And that's something 100% within Liv's capabilities. And she's a clinical finisher, and I'm really glad that she got the goal because she's one of those players that oftentimes does all the work, and someone's there last second to tap it in. So I was happy that she finally got a goal for herself.
Awesome, no doubt. I'm gonna pass it to Ben. We're in the same room, so I think he has a question. I've never been on the bus ride to Waco, but hopefully that goes well. Hey, Hannah, I just had one real quick question for you. My brother Sam, I guess twins are on the same page. He kind of asked along the same lines as what I was going to ask. But when Olyvia was on the field, she told me that, like, on that final goal, you were one of the first people who she brought out in, saying, like, I wouldn't have gotten to that spot without Hannah and Gabriella. So when Olyvia got the ball in the box, what was your first thought? Did you want her to shoot? Did you, what thought ran through your mind?
I said, Liv, do your thing. I'm not gonna sit there and tell Liv how to play soccer because that girl knows how to do it. So when she got the ball at her feet, I was like, spin her, do her up, do your thing, because she's a great player and I trust her instincts.
Thanks, Hannah. That's the best quote I got all night.
Is that everything for Hannah? All righty.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh God. Yep. Really feeling it. I'm doing a lot of it.
At least I'll let y'all guys fire away. I don't know how much time we have, so.
Alrighty, I guess I'll get it started. Gabriella, from up here in the press box, your goal that broke through early for your team, it looked really eerily similar to the goal against Iowa State. What do you think about that comparison? Is that accurate or no?
It actually is accurate, but then I actually was a little farther out in this game than I was in the Iowa State game. So I mean, I kind of took my touch outside. I like to shoot from weird angles, so I'm just I'm just gonna shoot this. That's how I've been thinking half the time. So I was like, hey, this doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. But I was like, oh, this went in. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine. So, but it was kind of like the Iowa State game, just like farther. But it was good. Yeah.
Okay, so one observation I have from the press box is from my being new here. I've noticed that when you have the ball and you're like kind of running and you're open, I feel like the crowd makes more noise and they kind of recognize how dangerous you are of a player. When you have the kind of wide open expanse of a sideline like you did on your goal, is that kind of always your mentality to score, or is it kind of just play the ball in and do the best thing?
It's mostly like play the ball and do the best thing. So, I mean, I do like the ball like in the middle sometimes, but I'm fine like shooting it out wide because I know that I have a good foot that I'll be able to shoot it from out wide. But sometimes I do prefer it in the middle. But I'm fine with whether I'm like, if I get the ball, I'm gonna go score no matter what angle I'm at. That's all I think about. So I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, and my last question, I know we're kind of running a little short on time, is I have a stat for you. 99.61% of this game had been played before Olyvia managed to untie the game at the last second and win in dramatic fashion. So I've never met a athlete of your caliber who likes ties. So what was your reaction, I guess the team's reaction, when this game that looked bound to be a tie, when y'all managed to grab victory at the last second?
Oh, I was like, no, we're not tying this game. I was like, we have to get a goal. So the fact that I was like, I have a little bit energy left to get this ball and cross it in and like hoping for the best. And I'm like, I trust Liv. So I was like not worried, but I was yelling from far out, like, shoot it. Cause I was like, I want to win. This is like my second time being in West Virginia. So I was like, I don't want to tie and we're home. I was like, I want them to go home and remember that they lost to us again this year. So yeah, that's like how I was like, I'm super competitive when it gets like ties. I'm just like, no, I hate ties. I can't stand ties.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, quick follow-up. My bad. I said last question. But you kind of mentioned it. How exhausted were you guys? Like, obviously the longest game of the season and reduced training camp. Was it just an extra level of being tired out there in overtime?
Yeah, it was, because I was like, this is the first real game we've actually played, and that's been in overtime. So that was like my mentality of like, I gotta push myself. I know I'm tired, but I still have to push through no matter what. I was like, because I want to win. I'm going to do everything, throw my body out, take shots. I'm like, run through people. I was like, I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do. So
that's awesome. Thanks, Gabriella.
Thank you.
I'm good. Yeah, my fault. I asked our questions together, so Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah, my fault. Well, okay. Now that I'm on, I'll ask one question about the pile at the end of the game. I didn't see. Were you one of the first people to jump in there?
I was actually kind of the last because I was running for the sideline, and then my knee almost gave out, so I was like, oh, I have to jog for a bit. Then I jumped on top of Charmaine, and then I rolled off of Charmaine. I just started laying there on the ground because I was like, I can't be on people right now. I was like, I need space. So, but I was super excited that moment. I was like, we won. I thought I was almost started crying. So, yeah.
So that was a good feeling to jump on that pile and, be in that mass of humanity.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. I was like, it's over. So it was nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabriella. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
How long are you going to celebrate this before you get ready for your next match?
I'm going to celebrate tonight, go over some film, and then tomorrow's a new day. Then I'm going to start preparing for the Baylor game because, yes, this was a great win, but now it's time to move on and focus on the next game because, we don't know how Baylor's going to be, so I have to be prepared for that, no matter what. So, and our job is to, beat Baylor. So, and that's what's going to happen.
What other matches that you've played at when you're while being here have kind of had that same feeling that this one did?
I can compare this match to when I was at Mississippi State. We played against South Carolina. We were tied actually against them. I didn't score in that game. I was still playing outside back before I came here, but it was maybe Liv's goal was later than my old teammate's goal is. She scored probably in the 40 seconds left in the second half of overtime, and it was the same thing that happened. I gave the ball to her, and then she just shot it on her own, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a replay of what happened my sophomore year. So it was good. It was good, but I feel like this was different because I was actually a part of it because I actually did score this game. So I felt like it was changed from what I compared to my last game I was at Mississippi State. So
what about being so involved in this match compared to that one specifically? Did you see really stand out to you?
I had a bigger role in this match than I did my sophomore year when I was playing outside back. I felt like I was contributing more in this game and doing my part and all that type of stuff and obviously scoring. So I feel like that's what I feel like has changed from that game to this game, being more involved and also becoming a leader since now I'm older and it was time for me to step up this year. So I was like, this is the year that things are going to change. So.
And then the last thing I have to ask is what would you think this would be the toughest game that you guys have played so far, and then what made that the toughest game of the three that you've played this season?
I do think it's the toughest game we played so far, and I'm good at the outside all the center backs on West Virginia. I would give credit to them. They did their job. They were doing everything they can to stop me, and then Liv and then Charmaine and Megan, and I was like, they're really putting us to work. I'm not going to say Iowa State didn't or neither did Kansas State, but this was really a competitive game because I felt like I was going against people who had the same speed as me. So I was really have to run and match their energy. So I was like, oh, well, this is not an easy breezy game. This is oh no, this is a tough game. And I got to do my job for real this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We done? All good? All righty. Thanks, guys. Thanks, G.
Thanks, Wade.
See ya.
Bye.
What's up, everybody? Adam Engel, Ben Hutchins, Sam Hutchins here at Neil Patterson Stadium after your sixth-ranked Oklahoma State Cowgirls pull a thrilling 2-1 victory, just the second program victory over the fourth-ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. and thrilling it was, guys. Like, we'll get to, the middle of the game, but the end of the game was the most exciting part of the game that I want to talk about first.
No doubt.
28 seconds left in the match, double overtime. This was the second overtime period played, and 28 seconds in this match would have gone to a tie.
Yep.
And, as Gabriella Coleman told Sam postgame, nobody likes a tie. So Olyvia Dowell changes that complete narrative tonight in Neil Patterson Stadium. Turned around once, turned it around twice,
And fired right into the back of the net.
yeah, guys, 99.61% of this match had been played before Olyvia Dowell unknotted the game, made it 2-1 in favor of the Cowgirls. Nothing better than a golden goal victory to send your team home happy. Now, the middle of this game, as I kind of hinted at earlier, it was, pretty substantial and, an important part of this game as well. Gabriella Coleman got the Cowgirls up first. As right here, she had a beautiful pass from Hannah Webb up the left sideline. Really gave Gabriella Coleman and all her speed a chance to run out and get ahead of the West Virginia line. She had a left-footed shot that was just a crazy angle.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. It was a weird angle, beautiful shot, great strike, and it found the back of the net early in the second half to give the Cowgirls the lead. But the lead was short-lived. And the West Virginia Mountaineers, they weren't going to be shut out. The number 4 team in the nation played well in their own right. I'm going to have to look up the pronunciation for the girl who scored, but
From Spain.
Stephanie Ferrer Van Ginkel played a really nice ball off a free kick over on this side of the field.
Yeah.
It was right outside of the box. She put it on goal and blasted it almost in the upper 90. Emily Potts made a save, but the ball rebounded straight up and fell down. Tough play.
It was weird.
Yeah,
it was
like the ball snuck in between Plotz and the goalpost. It was weird. Found the back of the net. Put West Virginia back in this game at 1-1. And guys, it looked like it'd stay that way.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. Something I want to point out though, you said a weird goal. So with Oklahoma State, those 2 goals were skill goals. Now with West Virginia, you could argue that was, a messy goal or a, lucky goal, but either way, a goal's a goal. They tied the game when it mattered most, but then Olyvia Dowell won the game when it mattered most.
That's exactly right. And as the team now prepares to head to Waco for their next game, the team, they're going to celebrate this one a little bit, and I think they deserve that.
Agreed.
This is only the second time in program history Oklahoma State has beaten West Virginia. Is it in Neil Patterson Stadium?
Period. A 2-9-0 record. So 2 wins back to back. So I mean, no better time for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls to beat West Virginia than now in the present.
Especially with the win coming against the number 4th ranked team in the nation. So they're gonna celebrate on this one a little bit, but they're gonna head to Waco, and as Gabriella told Sam also post game, they're gonna celebrate it, but they're also gonna move their thoughts
back to business.
Back to business, because that's really what this team is all about. No doubt. You can catch the Cowgirls at 7 p.m. Next Friday, same time. Tune in. Exciting team. They should be ranked maybe higher than 6th in the nation. So certainly a high-powered team that will be a great joy to watch throughout the entire season. For the O'Colly, I'm Sam Hutchins. For Ben Hutchins and Adam Engel. Thank you, guys.